What is going on, Dating Tribe? Coach Nate here, and tonight I want to talk about something that paralyzes a lot of guys when it comes to approaching women in person, and that is approach anxiety, meaning that when you see a girl in person, you have a tough time going up to them and starting a conversation so that you can maybe lead something into the next level. I want to talk about this. I want to tell you how to solve it, power through it, get through it. Let's dive. When I have a client that's going through this, the first thing I like to do is identify what is actually holding them back. What is causing you to have this anxiety in the first place? I really don't like the concept of like, just be a man, power through it, just what's wrong with your confidence, just do it, whatever. Like, I think there's some credit to having like that very masculine energy of like just doing it. But what I like to do is solve it a little more holistically and kind of identify what's holding you back. Usually, it's one of three things. It's your own insecurities, right? Like you think you're too short, you're too fat, you're too unstylish, you're too nerdy, whatever. Next thing is a fear of rejection. And another thing is that you put women on, in general, especially ones that are particularly attractive, you put them on a pedestal. So then, now that we've identified it, you might be asking, how do we solve it? So what I would say is make sure that you've really identified which of those three things is bothering you. And what I want you to do is actually meditate, a couple days a week for 30 minutes to 60 minutes, 30 minutes minimum, on what is actually, what causes that reason, how it's going to come up when you try to approach women in person, and how to put it behind you, how to almost solve it. Like, meditate in your mind. So let's say it's fear of rejection. That's actually one that I still might struggle with myself. So how would I get over that? Well, I'm going to meditate, right? I'm going to calm down my mind. I'm going to visualize the situation. Let's say I'm waiting in line at Chipotle for my lunch, and there's a pretty girl in front of me, and I want to talk to her. But I feel like if I do start talking to her, that she's just going to reject me. She's going to buzz me off, whatever. Well, in my meditation, I'm going to imagine that scenario perfectly, okay? And I'm going to think about, the things that she can do. Maybe she'll just roll her, if I start talking to her, she'll just roll her eyes, and I'm toast. Or maybe, she'll start talking to me and do this thing, but then when I ask for a number, she'll be like, no, that's okay. I have enough friends. Or maybe she could even have a boyfriend already, and it's just like, no, I'm okay. I already have a boyfriend, right? So I'm going to visualize that. Also anticipate things that can go wrong and the objections, but then also visualize me getting through that, handling the objections, and then getting to a positive result. Being able to get the phone number at the end, being able to escalate, hey, not only getting the phone number, but hey, Friday night I'm going to a concert. It's this band, they're really local and fun and cool. Do you want to tag along with me? Something like that, which that's adventure concept, which I've talked about in other videos, right? So you want to not only, in your meditation, find out what's going on, but visualizing you solving it, getting through it, and getting through it properly. One other thing that can really paralyze guys when it's talking to women in person is, what the heck do you talk to them about? I like to find something that's maybe a little bit unique about them. Maybe it's their jacket, something they're wearing, their hair. Maybe it's the drink that they have in their hand, something like that. Just ask them. Let's say it's a drink in their hand, right? Ask them, hey, what are you drinking there? And if it's a Starbucks cup, they might be like, oh, it's a coffee mocha bull crap, whatever. Oh, cool. Ask them more about it. Oh, is it a cappuccino? Is it this? And then they'll tell you. Be like, oh, cool. So that's when I would ask, so does that make you a coffee snob, or do you always get that? Get some banter going. And then at the end of the exchange, you can, again, escalate it to asking for a number, asking to maybe go on some kind of a minor adventure, using adventure concept to get her to go with you somewhere or do something, right? But what I would say is overwhelmingly, to summarize that, you want to open her up and have a normal but conversation with her. That is not sexual related, that's not dating related, just like level with her. This is where your social calibration comes through. And if you're socially calibrated, you're probably not going to come off as a creeper, right? Safety is one of the big things. When I talk to women, as a coach, I like to gauge this sometimes and talk to random women or random women who are my friends and just ask them what's a big thing if a guy approaches you online or in person. They're like, well, if he's creepy, I don't want to be, end up on the news for being murdered or something. So safety is a big thing, and they're going to feel a lot safer around you if you have the social calibration. And a big part of the social calibration is talking to them about normal stuff. And then, like I said, at the end of it, you kind of close. It's like a sales call. You kind of close and say, hey, by the way, it was cool to talk to you. It'd be cool to text you and maybe hang out sometime. Can I get your number, right? That's socially calibrated. That's cool. It's not putting awkward dating pressure on the situation, where the guys that do that, these are the pickup artists you see in other YouTube videos. They approach awkwardly, they talk about an awkward thing, and then they awkwardly try to get a number. I'm not saying it won't work. I'm not saying I haven't done that in my dating tenure. I definitely used to do that. Actually sort of met my wife that way. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but if you want your chances to be dramatically improved and come through as organic, authentic, plausible, socially calibrated, so not creepy, that's the way to do it. So guys, those are my tips for helping you get through in-person approach anxiety with women. Whether it's getting over things like your insecurities, your rejection fear, you're putting women on a pedestal, but also figuring out what the heck to say to them if you do approach them. If you don't have all that stuff going on and you just don't know what to say, I'll also give you some tips there too. My name is Nate. I'm a dating coach for men. I help guys with this stuff all the time. I've already had some clients get some cool results, and I want the same for you. If you want to reach out directly to me, if you're thinking about getting one-on-one coaching with me, where we dive deep, we figure out what's going on with you, we solve it, we get your internal game better, which will get your external game better so that you attract women better. I'm going to help you get there, and really I hope that your goal is to have this. I've been happily married for 6 years, meaning that I have crossed the dating finish line and can definitely help you get there too and do it in a healthy way. So again, my name is Nate. Reach out to me at my email, pattersoncoachingwny@gmail.com. My website is pattersoncoachingwny.com. You can find me there as well. And we'll see you in the next video.